Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Goodbye. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Goodbye. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Goodbye. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey. Goodbye. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey. Goodbye, TCU. The nightmare is finally over. The frauds are done. And honestly, shout out to the Georgia Bulldogs for doing this 65-7. You guys, 65-7. Wow. And you know what's crazy, Georgia? You're the reason, not Georgia, TCU. You're the reason why college football gets a bad rep. You are the reason why college football gets a bad rep. Number one, you shouldn't have been in the playoffs because you lost to Kansas State in the championship round in the Big 12 championship. And number two, because you do crap like this. You give people false hope that you're going to beat an SEC team. You give false hope that you're going to win it all, but instead you get your butt whooped. You get mollywopped on the biggest stage of them all. And I loved it. And you know what's even crazy? I was going to watch this game, but I ended up watching the Knicks game with my boy Fisk Vegas. Shout out to Fisk. And honestly, I just had a feeling this was going to happen. ESPN was rooting for you guys so hard. They were interviewing your coach, saying, "Oh yeah, TCU this, TCU that, TCU's gonna. They're the underdogs, man. They're the how do I put it? You know, they're the little puppy they're the little engine that could. They're the little engine that could. No, the little engine that's been taken out of the commission by the Georgia Bulldogs. Shout out to the Georgia Bulldogs. I had a rocky relationship with the Georgia Bulldogs. It is what it is. But you know what? All's forgiven, Georgia. All's forgiven, Georgia. What you did to my Oklahoma Sooners back in 2018 hurt me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That was a great game, great bowl game. And, you know, you beat them. You beat us. I can't even watch the highlights of that game. But you know what? I'm going to watch the highlights of the TCU versus Georgia Bulldogs in 2023 of you guys whooping their behinds on the national stage. And ESPN, you can suck it too. You know why, ESPN? Because you guys were sucking off TCU. You guys were, you know, doing all this crazy stuff, interviewing their coach, interviewing their players, saying they're the little engine that could. Everybody's rooting for them. Nope. Georgia came in, stopped the mud hole like they were prime Stone Cold Steve Austin in the 90s and said, "We're done. Give us our championship or we're going to sleep." And I love it because TCU, once again, you guys don't deserve to be there. You guys are trash. And it wasn't for that idiot, clown, dumb, overrated piece of garbage, Jim Harbaugh. If he actually could fix up a defense, you guys wouldn't even be there. It should have been Michigan versus Georgia. That would have been a way better game. Even though I think Jim Harbaugh would have found a way to blown that game or get blown out in that game. But you guys should have never been there. You should have never been there. But you know what? The nightmare's over. Your reign is done, and you're not going back. My Oklahoma... I don't want to talk about the Oklahoma Sooners, but you know what? You're not going back. You had your 15 minutes of fame, and during your 15 minutes of fame, it was over. It's done. It's finally over. TCU, you're back to being relevance. You're back to being irrelevant. You were on cloud nine. Now you're back down to the ground where my Oklahoma Sooners get to, you know, pull down their pants and take a mean crap all over you. Mean crap all over you. So TCU, I wish you nothing but the worst. Your team is horrible. Your players suck. I hope they all get injured. And yeah, that's about that. And as it goes for the Georgia Bulldogs, man, hey, listen, look. Shout out to the Georgia Bulldogs, you know what I'm saying, for getting the job done. See, unlike that bum Jim Harbaugh, you guys actually get the job done. When you guys see food on your plate, you eat it and don't leave any spots on it. You don't leave any spots on it, and you did your job. And as it goes for Georgia, honestly, it's looking like the Nick Saban era is over. It's honestly looking like the Nick Saban era is over, and we're entering the Georgia Bulldog era in the SEC. Now, that kind of concerns me because my Oklahoma Sooners are rumored to go to the SEC, so, it is what it is. But, at the end of the day, man, shout out to the Georgia Bulldogs. You did your job, and it is what it is, man. But, once again, it's always screw TCU. Y'all ain't nothing, and, you're going to be nothing next year. Should have never been there in the first place. Should have gave it to – at least Alabama would have gave us a more interesting game. Hell, put Clemson in there. Put somebody else in there besides TCU. A team that lost to Kansas State. But that's going to wrap up the college football season, man. What were your thoughts on the college football season, man? Shout out to the Georgia Bulldogs. Screw TCU, yeah, man. And, yeah, RJ out.